Esteban Ocon was given a 5-second time penalty on lap 22 for the unsafe release, which resulted in contact between himself and Hamilton. Mick Schumacher had a spin at the Variante Alta on lap 25, the German having a poor race so far. After a moment at the Variante Alta, Leclerc was able to close the gap on Sergio Perez on lap 29, attempting to make the move but not quite getting it done. DRS was enabled finally on lap 34, Yuki Tsunoda one of the only to benefit from it, overtaking Magnussen all the way at lap 47, as a DRS train formed between Albon, Gasly and Hamilton, no one really able to make a move between them. Leclerc decided to pit on lap 50, going onto the soft tyres, conceding track position to Lando Norris. The Monegasque now settled on third and the fastest lap. Sergio Perez pitted in response from second, but Leclerc was able to easily breeze past Lando Norris back into third before Verstappen came in for the fastest lap as well on lap 52. On lap 54, it all went horribly wrong for Charles Leclerc, who spun out at the second chicane, going off and drawing damage to his front wing, pitting and coming out in 9th place. This promoted Lando Norris into the podium positions. He was, though, able to overtake Magnussen on lap 57, focusing on damage limitation at that point. Leclerc made the move on Sebastian Vettel on lap 60 for 7th, as Max Verstappen snatched the fastest lap. So, it was Verstappen who won the Emilia Romagna Grand Prix, moving up to second in the World Championship. Perez completed the 1-2 finish for Red Bull, their first since Malaysia 2016. Lando Norris took his first podium since last year's Italian Grand Prix, as George Russell made it 4 top 5 finishes out of 4 so far this season, but still dropped to 4th in the Drivers' Championship. Valtteri Bottas made it Alfa Romeo's first top 5 finish since Brazil 2019, Charles Leclerc in 6th after his huge mistake in the last few laps, his championship lead cut down to 27 points. Yuki Tsunoda was in 7th, and Aston Martin gained their first points of the season, with 8th for Vettel and 10th for Stroll, moving up a place in the championship. The two Astons split by Magnussen. Alex Albon was just outside the points, with Gasly and Hamilton behind, and Ocon in 14th, after his penalty for an unsafe release was applied. Zhou and Latifi followed by Ricciardo and Schumacher, who were caught up in the first lap incidents, and both Spaniards were unable to finish, Sainz down to 5th now in the championship. Red Bull finally moved into second in the Constructors this weekend, and McLaren are slowly moving up the grid again to 4th. My driver of the day is George Russell, who took advantage of the first lap incidents to swiftly move into the top 10 from his starting spot of P11, before coming in at exactly the right time and getting somewhat lucky after Leclerc spun out, which boosted the Brit up to 4th. It was a gutsy recovery drive from George, and he was able to hold up Valtteri Bottas as well, proving to Mercedes that he's a safe pair of hands whilst his teammate Hamilton continues to struggle. My team of the race is once again Red Bull, who made it their first 1-2 finish in over 5 years, and pushed both themselves and Max Verstappen right back into championship contention. My struggle of the race is sadly Charles Leclerc. He had a horrible start to the Grand Prix, falling to 4th from 2nd, but still seemed to be on for the podium places, cruising in 3rd for the majority of the race. But the poor start meant that he was nowhere near challenging for the lead. His luck seemed to turn when he decided to pit again, and it looked as if he could have taken 2nd from Sergio Perez, but he made that massive mistake and spun, breaking his front wing. He was, though, able to recover to the 6th, but this is the first dent in an otherwise unbreakable Charles Leclerc so far this season. Thank you very much for listening to F1 Every Week. Congratulations to Max Verstappen on his 22nd Formula 1 victory, and join us next week for some more F1 news.